Ways to solve
A
quadratic
equation.
Completing the square!
Objectives. Understand the step-by-step process of solving a quadratic equation using completing the square. Identify equations where completing the square can be applied.
If the equation is not factorable, make it factorable by completing the square.
Ew! Let's start off first with an easy equation.
X squared plus 2x minus 4 equals 0. The first step is to transform the equation into x squared plus bx equals c. After doing so, we will now solve for the last term.
Solving for the last term.
We need to divide the coefficient of the middle term by 2. The middle term's coefficient is 2. 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. We now have to square the number. 1 squared is equal to 1. Our last term is 1. Now we can substitute. X squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 4 plus 1. As you can see, it is a perfect square trinomial. So we can make the equation into x plus 1 squared equals 5.
Does this ring a bell?
Well, we can actually apply the square root property. Square root of x plus 1 squared equals square root of 5. We can cancel out the square root and the exponent, making it x plus 1 equals square root of 5. Transpose 1. X equals square root of 5 minus 1. Don't forget to solve for the negative of the square root. X plus 1 equals negative square root of 5. Once again, transpose 1. X equals negative square root of 5 minus 1. Our final answer is x equals positive negative square root of 5 minus 1.
Yay! Let's start the harder equation now.
X squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. This may look like an easy equation, but it is actually a little tricky. First, we need to make sure that the equation is in standard form. Since it's already in standard form, we can now transform the equation to x squared plus bx equals c, meaning that we need to transpose negative 6 to the other side of the equation. We have to solve for the last term, and we need to save a space for that last term. So we will now have x squared plus x plus blank equals 6 plus blank. We will need to divide the coefficient of the middle term by 2. Always make sure that the quadratic term's coefficient is 1 before dividing the middle term by 2. Based from the equation, the middle term is x. This means that the coefficient of the middle term is 1. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5, or simply 1/2. The next step in solving for the last term is to square it. 1/2 squared is equal to 1/4. We can now put the last term in the equation. Now we have x squared plus x plus 1/4 equals 6 plus 1/4.
Here comes the tricky part.
Before factoring the perfect square trinomial, we must first add 6 plus 1/4.
How do we do that?
Since 6 is just the same as 6 over 1, that means 6 plus 1/4 is just the same as 6 over 1 plus 1 over 4. To make them have the same denominator, just multiply 1 and 4 with each other. Let's solve for the numerator. So far, we have 6 over 1 plus 1 over 4 equals blank over 4. To solve for the numerator, just remember to divide and multiply. 4 divided by 1 is 4, times 6 is 24. 4 divided by 4 is 1, times 1 is 1. After factoring, you should be able to get x plus 1/2 squared equals 25 over 4. Now we apply the square root property.
Let's put our knowledge of square root property to the test.
After applying the square root property, we will have x plus 1/2 equals square root of 25 over square root of 4. After transposing, our equation will be x equals 5 over 2 minus 1 over 2. 5 over 2 minus 1/2 is 4 over 2, and 4 over 2 is 2.
Don't forget to solve for the negative of the square root.
X equals negative 5 over 2 minus 1/2 is negative 6 over 2. And negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. Our final answer is x equals negative 3 and 2.
Synthesis. Step 1. Transform the equation to ax squared plus bx equals c. Step 2. Solve for the last term. Step 3. Factor the perfect square trinomial. Step 4. Apply square root property. Step 5. Simplify if needed.
Yay!